Do you know someone born in December? They're usually the ones laughing a little louder at the table. The ones who seem strangely calm when things fall apart. The ones who can be incredibly warm, and yet somehow hard to fully understand. You might notice something else about them too. They often carry two different energies at the same time. One moment they're playful, spontaneous, making everyone around them feel lighter. The next moment they're quiet, watching the room like they're seeing something nobody else notices. Have you ever wondered why? Why people born in December can be so open with their kindness, but so private with their inner world? Why they seem optimistic even after difficult experiences? Or why they sometimes feel older than their age? There's a quiet psychological pattern behind many December personalities. And once you start noticing it, you begin to understand them in a completely different way. Let's talk about it. People born in December often grow up surrounded by contrasts. Think about the timing of their birthdays. The end of the year, the season of reflection. A time when people look back on what they've lived through and wonder what comes next. Even culturally, December carries emotional weight. Holidays, family gatherings, endings, beginnings, and strangely, many December-born individuals seem to mirror that same energy internally. They can be both celebratory and reflective, outgoing yet deeply introspective, warm but protective of their emotional core. Why does this happen? Part of the answer lies in something psychologists often observe about personality development. Context shapes perception. When someone grows up around moments of reflection and transition, they may naturally develop a stronger awareness of emotional cycles. You might notice this in small ways. A December-born friend might be the one who asks deeper questions during casual conversations. Not aggressively, just gently. How are you really doing? Or maybe they're the person who stays behind after everyone leaves, helping clean up without being asked. They tend to notice emotional details that others overlook. A quiet sigh, a forced smile, an awkward silence in a conversation. Why? Because many December personalities develop strong emotional observation skills early in life. Not necessarily because they were taught to, but because they learned that understanding people helps them navigate the world. Another interesting trait is their unusual balance between realism and optimism. You might assume someone who thinks deeply about life would become cynical, but that's rarely the case with many December-born individuals. Instead, they develop something closer to grounded optimism. They don't ignore problems. They simply refuse to believe problems are permanent. Have you ever met someone who says things like, "Yeah, this is difficult, but we'll figure it out"? That tone isn't denial. It's resilience. Psychological studies on resilience show that people who regularly reflect on their experiences often build stronger coping strategies over time. Reflection helps them process difficulties rather than avoid them. And December personalities tend to do a lot of reflecting, sometimes quietly, sometimes late at night, sometimes during long walks when nobody else is around. This reflective habit can also make them surprisingly self-aware. They often know their own weaknesses better than anyone else. They know when they're overthinking. They know when they're avoiding something. They know when they need space. But here's where things become interesting. Despite this self-awareness, December-born people often keep large parts of their emotional world hidden. Not because they want to be mysterious, but because vulnerability feels selective. They may share jokes easily, stories easily, advice easily, but their deeper fears? Those are reserved for a very small circle of trust. Why? Because people who spend a lot of time observing others often realize something important. Not everyone knows how to hold someone else's truth. And once they learn that lesson, they become careful about where they place their emotional weight. This caution doesn't mean they don't crave connection. In fact, many December-born individuals value deep relationships more than casual ones. They may have fewer close friends, but the friendships they keep often last for years, sometimes decades. Loyalty is a defining trait. If you're part of their inner circle, you'll notice something powerful. They remember things about you, your fears, your dreams. The story you told them 2 years ago about something that mattered to you, they remember. Because when they care about someone, they pay attention. There's also an interesting paradox in their personality. They can be incredibly generous with their time and energy, but surprisingly independent at the same time. You might see them helping others constantly, giving advice, showing up when someone needs support. Yet when they themselves face a challenge, they often try to handle it alone first. Why? Because independence gives them a sense of control. Psychologists call this self-reliant coping, a strategy where individuals prefer solving problems internally before seeking external help. For December personalities, this can be both a strength and a struggle. It builds resilience, but it can also create quiet loneliness. Another fascinating trait is their relationship with humor. Many December-born individuals develop a very particular kind of humor. Not always loud, not always obvious, but often clever, slightly ironic, sometimes even dark. Why humor? Because humor is one of the brain's most powerful emotional regulators. Research shows that people who use humor during stressful situations often experience lower emotional intensity. In other words, laughter becomes a pressure valve. It allows them to release tension without denying reality. So when a December-born person jokes about a difficult situation, they're not minimizing it. They're managing it. And there's something else you may notice about them. They adapt quickly. New job? They adjust. New environment? They observe, then integrate. Unexpected change? They take a breath and start figuring out the next move. This adaptability often comes from their reflective nature. Because they constantly analyze experiences, they learn faster from them. Mistakes become lessons. Awkward moments become stories. Challenges become personal training. But perhaps the most beautiful trait of many December-born individuals is their quiet appreciation for small moments. A peaceful evening, a deep conversation, a sunset after a long day. They don't always say it out loud, but those moments matter to them a lot. Why? Because reflection teaches people something simple yet profound. Life moves quickly, and meaning rarely appears in the loudest moments. It appears in the subtle ones, the conversations that linger, the laughter that wasn't planned, the silence that feels safe. That's why December personalities often seem calm in chaotic situations. They've learned that chaos passes, but meaningful moments stay. And once someone understands that, their priorities shift. They care less about impressing people, and more about understanding them, less about rushing, more about experiencing, less about being seen, more about seeing. If you really look closely, people born in December often carry the spirit of the season they arrive in. A mixture of warmth and quiet reflection, celebration and contemplation. They laugh easily, but they think deeply. They care deeply, but they protect their inner world carefully. They are the kind of people who can sit with someone in silence without making it uncomfortable. The kind who remember what others forget. And the kind who find meaning in moments that most people rush past. Maybe that's the real psychology here. December-born individuals don't just experience life, they observe it. They reflect on it. And slowly, over time, they turn those reflections into wisdom. Not loud wisdom, quiet wisdom. The kind that shows up in thoughtful conversations, patient listening, and unexpected kindness. So if you know someone born in December, you might already recognize this energy. And if you are one yourself, maybe some of these patterns felt familiar. Because sometimes understanding personality isn't about labels. It's about recognizing pieces of your own story.